What's up guys, welcome to another video. Today we're reviewing Friday the 13th, the final chapter. This one came out in 1984 and was directed by Joseph Zito and stars Corey Feldman and Crispin Glover. Now before it started, hit that like button, subscribe, post notification bell so you can get notified for every video, and let's just start. Let's start talking about the good. So all the actors and actors in this film, I thought they were actually pretty good. Of course you have Crispin Glover. He is very, very good in this film. He has a hilarious dance sequence in the first act of the film, which some people might find it to be a little cringe-worthy, but it was hilarious to me. And this film definitely has some of the best characters out of the entire franchise. I don't know what happened with those other films, but they never got the cast right for those films. This film has a ton of good characters. That are interesting, fun, entertaining, and you would actually want to hang out with them. Because the other films, I mean, I could care less about all the other characters in the other films, but this film, I actually cared about the characters. Tommy Jarvis, who was played by Corey Feldman, he is really good in this film. I did not expect him to be that good in this film, but I actually found myself liking his character. He was the kid in the film, and I think he was very entertaining. He wasn't a dumb character. He was just a normal character that you would know. It seems like you would actually know Corey Feldman's character, which is of course Tommy Jarvis. And Tommy Jarvis, for me, is easily one of the best characters in the entire Friday the 13th franchise, just because of his likability and his actual character. The opening recap of the previous Friday the 13th films, I thought it was great. It just gives you information about what happened in the previous one so you understand what happened in this one. But I think it worked for the film. The opening title card for this film, I thought it was fantastic. It was awesome. It was a perfect opening title card for a film like this, and it's sort of like the other ones, but it's kind of different. The score for the entire film, including those opening credits, is fantastic. The Friday the 13th films have a very unique score because they're not really a score, I guess it's not. There's no music to it. It's just noise, basically. But the reason it's so unique is because usually when you think about score, you think about music, lyrics, or just music like Hans Zimmer and all that. But for Friday the 13th films, they don't have a specific score. It's just music. So I thought the score is very interesting, and it works for this film. The hospital sequence. There's a hospital sequence in this film, and I thought it was great. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to say what happens in it, but I think it was a great sequence in the film. There are a lot of tense sequences within this film as well. Of course, mainly having to do with Tommy Jarvis, Jason Voorhees. There are just a ton of tense sequences that make you scared and nervous about what will happen to the characters in the film. And since you actually care about them, you don't want to see them die. So those sequences, like those chase sequences, are fantastic because you're at the edge of your seat, and you actually want to see what happens at the end of that chase sequence. The sequences in this film, the death sequences, they're brutal, but they're not overly in your face. This is, of course, Friday the 13th, and it's known for having in-your-face death sequences. But this film, it has some of those, but a lot of them are subtle, which I really enjoyed about this film. The atmosphere and the tone are present throughout the entire film, and has sort of this creepy atmosphere because it is, of course, Friday the 13th film. But the tone shifts like twice because it is creepy and it has that creepy tone, but it also goes into some lightheartedness with Crispin Glover's character in that second act of the film, or maybe the first act, I believe, going into the second act, where he does have a dance sequence, and it is kind of ridiculous, but it was hilarious. So that sequence just adds, takes away from the tension, so you're not scared throughout the entire film. Um, the cinematography for this film is actually pretty good. It's pretty decent. The film looks better than I expected it to be. Um, it looks way better than some of the Friday the 13th films, and I think that the cinematography works for the film, and it uses it. The film uses the cinematography to its advantage, because there are tense sequences, like I mentioned, where you kind of need good cinematography. You need good shots, good camera angles in order to make the viewer scared um, about what's going on in that sequence. So I thought the cinematography was pretty good. Um, the third act of the film is just fun and entertaining. You have Tommy Jarvis, you have Jason Voorhees. It's awesome. That third act is awesome. Um, and the ending sequence I thought was pretty creepy. It's sort of like the other Friday the 13th endings, but sort of not at the same time. So I thought the ending sequence was pretty creepy. I guess the only bad thing I have to say about this film is that some of the character choices, some of the acting was not all that great, but of course it is a Friday the 13th film, and they are known as B horror films, so the characters might not be that good. But compared to the other Friday the 13th films, this film definitely has some of the best characters on the entire franchise. That's about it. Friday the 13th, the final chapter, is a very entertaining horror film. It's definitely one of the best in the Friday the 13th franchise, and I highly recommend it. And I'm going to give Friday the 13th, the final chapter, a B+. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the post notification bell so you can notify for every video. I'm Peter. Thanks for watching.